I'm an agricultural science teacher, currently in my third year of teaching. When I started teaching, I had no experience, no prior training on pretty much anything. I didn't go to college to be a teacher. I made this decision well after I graduated. So everything I knew was what I learned in my online certification program. Needless to say, my first year was rough. I knew nothing about curriculum or even how to actually go about presenting information to my students. Well, my teaching partner had been using an online-based curriculum that was very user-friendly, but it could be a little boring, and the online tests for students were honestly too easy. While I used this curriculum, I began adding more meat or higher order thinking questions to my tests. I made my test the typical way on a blank document, printed it out, and I would give it to my students to take, and then I'd spend hours grading all of them. Well, in the beginning of my second year, I learned that I could make a Scantron on our lesson plan platform called Eduphoria. I was amazed that I could do this, and it would only take me a few minutes to grade instead of hours. I loved that. I immediately adopted this innovation. I sought out the district change agent for all of things technical. He was our education technology director, and I begged him to teach me how to work this crazy invention. I quickly developed an interpersonal relationship with him, and he was amazed that I didn't already know about this capabilities. I was definitely a laggard in adopting that innovation. As he finished giving his instructions on how to create a Scantron, he said, you can put your entire test online. The students take it online, and then it grades it for you. You have to do nothing. When I look back on that now, I should have dropped everything that I was doing, asked him to teach me everything that he knows, but I didn't. Now, I speed up to this past summer. I finally learned how to create all tests in Eduphoria. And with our district going to a one-to-one technology, every student has a computer. This online testing has really helped me this school year, especially with my time management. I now have zero time spent on grading exams, and the computer does all the work for me, which is fantastic. I honestly have become a change leader when it comes to teaching Eduphoria to all of the new employees of the district. But even though it's been so great, there are still consequences. So this test is online. We risk not being able to have access to the internet if the internet crashes. That's a big deal, especially if it's semester exam time and you're in a time crunch. But the biggest consequence that I face, especially in my larger classes, is that my data has become skewed. You see, with the test being online, I have high school students. They're pretty smart. They're using a computer with internet access, which means that they can easily go online and search for the answers when I'm not looking. I monitor my classroom pretty well, but in my classroom with more than 30 students, I can't see every screen every second of the test. As I review my students' data, I can see some inconsistencies. A student who doesn't do well in classwork, quizzes, suddenly passes a nearly perfect score on their test? I don't understand. I've discussed this problem with other teachers and the educational technology director, who has been my lifesaver. I've asked for advice and solutions, but the only one that I've really found was just monitor your classroom more closely. Guys, I don't think I can monitor my class any more closely than I already do. So now, I know that this could potentially be a major problem for me, but I don't think that it's reason enough for me to just reject this innovation. I work with people and we try to reinvent it in order to make our technology needs a little bit easier to fit our classroom demographics and needs. This innovation works for me, and it works for our district as a whole, despite its consequences.